Hello, team. Still a little bit swollen, so ignore that. This is your last video. This is the end of your 6 weeks. Although we are kind of taking that nutrition through till Wednesday, my hope is that you're taking it even, is that a gray hair? No. My hope is that you're taking it even further than Wednesday. But I wanted to wait until the end to do this video because I think it's important to just take this along with you as you kind of continue on your journey. And it is understanding relapse. When we hear the word relapse, we think of it with a super negative connotation because it typically applies to people who are abusing substances or alcohol. However, relapse is anytime you're returning to a previous behavior, right? One that you kind of changed intentionally. So if your habit before this reset was eating sweets at 8 p.m. every night, but you haven't done that for the last, say, 4 weeks, a relapse would be eating those sweets at 8 o'clock at night, 2 or 3 nights in a row. And so just to help you really understand that, because I think a lot of the times when we do relapse, we feel this guilt, so much so that we're like, that's it. I ruined it. All my progress is gone. I need to start over. I need to do another cleanse. I need to start again. And that's just really not how it works. If you can catch yourself in that behavior before it becomes habitual again, you can just redirect. You don't need to wait till Monday. You don't need to beat yourself up. You don't need to feel this like overwhelming guilt. It is a virtual certainty that inside of your fitness journey, especially, that you will relapse. It is almost inevitable. So understanding the difference between making an educated decision to eat or, splurge in a way that is abnormal from your routine, that's not relapse. That's you saying, hey, this is an occasion or whatever that I'm choosing to do this. Relapsing would be mindlessly redirecting to what we would call maladaptive behaviors. So let's say you get super stressed and you're kind of freaking out and you eat fast food 2 or 3 times in a day, but then you're like, the next day you're like, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. Well, now you're aware of it. So yes, you relapsed, but you became aware. And so now that you have this awareness, you can just go, okay, bummer that I did that, but also that keys me into the fact that I'm super stressed out. So now what do I do to handle my stress so that I don't do this for the next 5 or 10 days or whatever it may be and actually derail myself? Because the one isolated incident has a nominal, if any effect at all, on your progress. It's the repetitiousness of a behavior that gives it its power. So when you relapse, because it will happen, and again, so important to separate relapse from conscious one-off decision making. When you relapse into those less desirable behaviors, if you can maintain your awareness through it, if you can say, oh, I did this because X, Y, and Z, or I'm not sure why I did this, but I know it tends to be my habit when I'm tired or stressed or uncomfortable emotionally, or my anxiety gets out of control, whatever the case may be. Let me unpack that. I'm gonna set that behavior to the side and try to unpack this trigger, whatever it is, and then that way I don't return to the habit. And I've had this conversation with a few of you. The reason that relapse is inevitable is because a lot of our behaviors are tied to our nervous system. And so your nervous system response and your cognitive response to things tend to not match up if there's a high level of emotion involved. And so if any of your behaviors are tied to any of your emotions, there's going to be a moment in time where you're not aware consciously of what's happening, but your nervous system is doing something intentionally to help regulate your body. Because you're not consciously regulating, you have to subconsciously regulate. And so a lot of the times what that means for us is seeking comfort inside of different things. For some people it may be something like wine, and like it's maybe it's normal for you to have 1 or 2 glasses of wine, but maybe you're noticing, well, it's been 3 or 4 glasses 3 nights in a row, where your nervous system's saying like, we're still super uncomfortable, like let's get more comfortable. It may be you're like, well, it's like I allow myself to have 3 or 4 cookies, but like today I couldn't stop myself, I ate a whole sleeve. That's your nervous system saying to yourself, hey, like that's not really doing the trick for us right now, you're not really coping well mentally, so let's have 17 more cookies because we'll feel better then. And that's legitimate. That's actually a legitimate thing. Your body's only responsibility is to maintain homeostasis, right? And in the best way that it knows how. So when you become dysregulated emotionally, it goes to regulating behaviors. We all have them. Some of us, some people zone out and sit and watch TV. But try to really key into those, markers of incoming, relapse, so to speak. If you start to notice cravings pop up, if you start to notice being more lenient than necessary with certain foods as you're consuming them, if you can really pay attention to those, then you can kind of stop a relapse in its tracks. But to understand that, I just wanted to get across that a lot of the times we relapse because something's happening in our external world that's affecting our internal being. And so handling that first will help it not trickle into the fitness part of your life, because it's just really normal in Western society for that to be the case. But don't beat up on yourself. It is, like I said, when they train us to understand that part of fitness, what we're told is that it's inevitable. It's a certainty, it's going to happen. And so our job is not to, as trainers, my job is not to keep it from happening, because I cannot. My job is to let you know that it's going to happen, give you the tools to stop it when it does happen, and then give you the confidence to push through it when it's over. So hopefully I've been able to do that throughout this 6 weeks. Hopefully you're feeling confident and empowered to continue on your journey, planning in the ways that make the most sense for your life and your family, because I think that it sounds like you guys have all really sharpened a lot of the tools that you already had. And I'm really excited to see where that takes you. Soon enough, we'll do another one. It won't be a reset. It'll be a little bit different. Maybe we'll do a reset for the people who didn't get to do it. But, these are just going to build on each other, and we're just going to keep getting stronger, keep becoming more mindful, and keep just learning how to love on ourselves in a way that takes care of ourselves internally and externally at the same time, because the two have to work together, or it's just all for naught. I love you guys. You guys have been incredible. You've done amazing. Thank you so much for your feedback. I will send another email out. The review email that I said I was going to send out is going to come through. And just again, you guys are great. I hope that you believe it as deeply and strongly as I believe it. And if you don't, well, darn it, I'll just beat it into you. You guys have a great rest of your weekend.